Hello, my name is Wakata, and welcome back to Mechabellum. We got a special treat for you today. In fact, you can see down here a replay was just saved. So unfortunately, I don't always record while I am playing. And today, we finally got to experience one of the new 2v2 compact maps. And it was an incredible nail biter, and to be honest, I really kind of like the new format. So I wanted to share the experience with all of you who haven't seen the compact map, plus a really good match at the same time. And again, unfortunately, it's going to be a replay, not a live recording of it, because I was just playing the game and did not have the recording software running. So sit back and enjoy this incredible match. All right, starting off at selection screen. We are taking Supply Specialist. This is definitely my favorite specialist. And getting to start with Mustangs, I think is always fantastic. It's great because this unit is so versatile. It's great for putting on your back lines to stop any shenanigans. You know, having it in the first round means you have a counter for air. It is easily my favorite unit to start with. So looking at the new compact map, you'll notice there is no stripe between the two players. That also means that the opponents or yourself cannot do placements in the flank of your opponents on the interior side, though the exterior side is still valid. What this means is that we're going to have a lot more clashing of the two sides, and the partnership becomes more of a partnership. Like I said initially, I really like this new format because the 2v2 really kind of felt like an afterthought when it came to the fact that you have a partner. It's really been 1v1 and then what's the overflow. And I do like 2v2. I like having to decide, you know, what changes do I have to make not only to beat my opponent, but to beat what's left over from my other side if the other side is losing. But this makes this more of a kind of a team effort. And so I really like that. Now, we are placing, kind of standard for me at least, when we have the same speed units. The melee ones, of course, out front. The ranged ones a little bit behind. We don't want to put them right next to each other because, you know, a sentry missile would take out both groups. And I decided to move these over because I didn't want them all to get distracted by the opponent's side. This is why we weighted the right side more heavily. So we've gone with an extra set of Mustangs. We've saved our extra 50 bucks for future use. And we are overwhelming the right side because the left side of our opponent is getting distracted by what's going on the other side, which is working out in our favor. It looks like our partner's opponent has Phoenixes, so they have air, which again, starting with Mustangs, is really good for dealing with air. And we take the first round pretty handily. So we're going to pick up intensive training right at the beginning. Popular choice. There's a reason for it. Leveling up units is typically better than having more of the unit. With the scaling and the longer you can have them survive, the more damage output, higher level units just win the game. So here my teammate is dropping a Rhino into play. And our opponent has put a level 3 Rhino right in the corner, which is really a smart play, right? He's done intense training on a level 2, so it came out into play a level 3. And it's devastating because you're talking about all these little level 1 units that are just, you know, not doing much damage. Fortunately, we've also gone Rhinos, and the reason we went Rhinos is because we saw that our teammate was dropping a Rhino in. And I thought, you know what? Let's just support that. Let's go more Rhino. Fortunately, our Horde here finally takes down that level 3 Rhino. See the shadow of more phoenixes coming along, and our partner's opponent has brought the first giant on the field. Oh, the humanity. Go, Rhino, go! Punch him in the kidneys. Yeah. We take round 2. Pretty well. So, skill specialist came up as available, and you know, when you already have intensive training, which takes 1 turn to cool off, you can make this to where you can upgrade someone every single turn. Now, of course, that can be a little expensive because upgrading isn't free, but it's a fantastic combo. So we're getting mechanical rage on our rhinos, mostly because we need the speed and their movement. What we really want is the whirlwind, but we need to get on target faster because we have these little guys here. And we have this thing to deal with. So we brought another rhino in. This is all of our money. And we're going to put it over here to tangle with this rhino. Now, of course, our rhino isn't going to win that fight straight out. But it's just a little bit more damage on him while it's being distracted by everything else. Of course, we don't yet know that he's picked up whirlwind, though I suspected he would. Striking the whole battlefield and screen here. Look, but that whirlwind almost one-shots our rhino. But that's okay. You know, it's an investment. Get them on the field, start getting some experience points for them, start investing money in them. We're winning hard on the right, which is really what we care about. Get on that tower quick. It's going to shut down these marksmen. It's also going to hamper this arc light that's firing on our group. Fortunately, his rhino gets through that tower, and here's the drawback of it being the compact map is you take one tower, you go and take the other one right away. But we can do that as well. Takes a little bit of time because our guys were under the tower debuff. Now level 3 Rhino is just doing good work. Unfortunately, he's doing good work against us. Yeah, they've got their money worth out of that unit. And unfortunately, that unit survived long enough to take out all of our anti-air, which means we have to lose round 3. Not too big of a loss, though. And again, it's a round we're spending just kind of starting to get things up and running. Carousel's a nice senior attack specialist. Increased our damage across the board. Our teammate is bringing in Vulcan. So we're going to go ahead and get our whirlwind in, just to help clear all this other garbage to make sure that we're on target. Our teammate's bringing in his Vulcan that he just brought from off screen. And we're uncomfortably running lean here, right? We have all these guys who are ready to level up, and we just don't have the money for it. We're just trying to keep up with this guy right here, to be honest. You know, and we're doing our intensive training to level things up, the rhinos themselves, and get their upgrades. But again, it's all about scaling. So it looks like our teammate has brought air into it as well, some wasps. Of course, we saw them fighting the Vulcan last turn as well. We're bringing everything to bear on this guy, and he's just tanking it like a champ. He now has healing built into him as well. Things have not gone so well over here, but we are still turning it. Our opponent has brought some tankage in here to help slow down our rhinos, which is a good move on their part. Fortunately, we did clear out enough stuff that we were able to finally take him down. There were no distractions for our units. And while our teammate lost his tower, we did not. I'll try and click on, there he goes, Rhino. Unfortunately, our Rhino has taken a lot of damage in the fight, so he's not going to carry the day this time. Which leaves a bunch of Mustangs to try to take down a level 3 Vulcan. Yeah, that's not going to work. Round 4 goes to our opponents. I did mention this was a nail biter. Get ourselves an advanced firepower control. 200% bonus to attack on a unit. Mind you, we just picked up the plus 30% attack specialist. So he's dropped it on that monster of a Rhino, which is level 5 now. But that's okay. He can keep putting all his eggs in one basket. Because we have a plan. It's called a hacker. Now, it was expensive for us to get it, which is why we didn't get a level up on it from the tower, because we wanted to save enough money to get an actual upgrade on it, which is the enhanced control, which is going to restore the full health of whatever unit that we hack. We're then going to use our intense training to bring him up to level 2. And I mentioned putting all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, this is what happens when you do. I also bought the upgrade to increase the damage further. This is all about this hacker. That's what this round is about. So he's doing his great work, as expected, and then, welcome to the team. Unfortunately, they do have a lot of firepower here, but this time, that unit didn't get to go through and destroy everything. Right? Before, all this stuff was wiped out by him, towers were taken down. Everything survives because he's out of the fight. Now over here, we've unfortunately actually lost control of the right side. And in this narration, I did the same thing I did in the actual live game, which was I was so focused on what was going on over here, I don't know how we lost this side. I'm going to have to watch the replay again. I'll check that out in editing. But obviously our opponent was focusing on reclaiming this side of the board, which is what he should be doing, and has successfully turned the tide on what was a losing side. Unfortunately for him, we have turned the tide over here. That was a big shift. Tech Specialist, another one of my favorite upgrades. That pays for itself immediately. And we're going to use it to enhance our hackers further by giving them some range. And bring a couple more in. Again, we would love to have been able to start them at level 2, but you know, we're talking about the costs of adding additional abilities to something that already has it. The cost goes up. And we weren't losing right side by a whole lot, so just a little bit to augment should be enough. We're looking at the right side. See, I'm still not really sure how he turned the tide. A level 3 Rhino shouldn't be enough. But we're going to pay a little more attention to what's going on over here. He hasn't done anything to protect his Rhino, probably because he put it so close to the front. Which is why I will never put a unit that's that important right on the front line. Always leave enough room to put like crawlers or something in front of them if you needed a distraction unit. And he's already turned. Because our hacker's up to level 4 at this point. So on this side, this is a little unfortunate. This guy is just, he's really a monster, and he walks out of range just as we were about to hack him. To start the hack all over again. Of course, we eventually get him, but that's actually a little too late in, you know, since that if we managed to convert him before, we probably would have won this. Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot get close enough to those marksmen. Round 6. Looks like it's going to our opponents. And this is a big loss. So we can't lose another round like that. We're down to 800. We lose one more round like that, it's all over with. They're calling in some off-screen reinforcements. I reduced the cost of non-giant units. It's a little questionable. They have a lot of health left. We really need 2 rounds for that to pay off. But I'm counting on us winning at least this round and it paying for itself in the next round. But we do use it to good effect. We managed to get ourselves level 2 marksman, which we have given the range enhancement to. And the reason is because we know we have a lot of single targets here. What we lost to last round were marksmen. So we need to be able to outrange those marksmen, or at least meet them. And we're gaining range on our Mustang for the same reason. Finally, just getting some level ups. It's been a rough game. We're still looking at level 2 units. The money just hasn't been there. We've been focusing all of it, on our rhinos and our hackers, because again, intense training every turn means that we can just get a few super powered units. We double leveled that rhino. Here we go. We double leveled rhino because we just needed more raw tanking. Flip that rhino. He didn't get out of range that time. And this is what would have happened last round had he not walked out of range. We now have his rhino that's tanking everything for us, so that our new marksman and our extended range hackers can free fire from the back line. And our super level 5 hacker converts the tower. Oh, it's too bad we can't convert them. But things are going much better this time. The Overlord is healing. We would like to have had enough money to have gotten EMPs on our marksman. But we just didn't have the money for it. So our gamble paid off, or at least broke even, on buying the reduction in cost for non-giant units. We're getting our extended range because we made it to another round. That gives us another round to be able to actually buy stuff cheaper. And it takes buying 4 units for that upgrade to break even. And you can see we spent a lot of money on just getting level ups across the board. We bought 2 more units. That breaks even on our upgrade. We're going to borrow money, something I don't typically like doing, because we wanted to pick up Elite Marksman. Get a little extra range, a little extra damage. And there's a lot of single targets going on here. And we know that our opponents have been going high with these Overlords. What we don't know yet is that our direct opponent is also picking up Overlord. Actually, 2 of them. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the air that needs to be shot at. A lot of giants, and marksmen are really good for taking down giants. Now he's trying some backdoor shenanigans here by summoning in some crawlers. I don't really think that was the best place he could put them, given that they were in range of 2 sets of Mustangs. We're not going to bother paying attention to that. The Mustangs will handle them. So, another thing we didn't point out is that the Rhino is now gone. They actually sold off their level 5 Rhino because they got tired of it being stolen. Right side collapses quickly. We've got the range and damage advantage at this point. And the whole point really here is to protect the marksman, because we know in this 2v2 that typically the partner opponent ends up with these overlords, and we need our marksmen alive to handle that. And our teammate wins his side, and we win the game. Oh yeah, that was an intense match. Kudos to our opponents. It was well played and a lot of fun. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. Leave a like on the way out if you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you in a future video.